Good morning, everybody, and welcome to today's episode of Market Check, brought to you by Because Bitcoin. I was just getting a kick out of the little banner that's rolling on the bottom there, Max. But I am Snorlax. You guys also know me as Tommy. I am, of course, joined by Dr. Will's Outlook, Max, and Tucker. Excited for today. We finally got some movement in equities. We're getting some movement in crypto today. I think we are on the brink of, potentially some very significant volatility in all of these markets. I don't want to sound like a broken record in that regard, being the guy that says, "Ooh, what is it? The meme, "Ooh, volatility incoming," like, "Ooh," you know what I'm talking about? Like, big move next, something like that. But it really does kind of feel like that in these markets at the moment. I gotta say, guys, whether it is the backdrop that we're seeing with crypto, where we're kind of, Tucker put it best last week, we're kind of just stacking tail risk on top of tail risk on top of tail risk, and it hasn't blown up yet, but it's almost kind of like a powder keg in crypto right now, where it does feel a little bit like the calm before the storm. And one of the things that we've mentioned that could bring about the storm was if equities, specifically the indexes that have been so strong and mega cap tech stocks, begin to show weakness. Then it would probably not be a great sign for crypto, not just bouncing, but as far as prices in USD for the rest of the year. And we're finally getting that pullback in equities today, right? We have almost, I'm looking at the ES right now. The futures are down about 0.75%, which isn't anything extreme yet. But when we talk about equity weakness, right, like given the location, is this a lower high? And given that it has been so strong, when you finally have those stronger markets that start to show weakness, what does that kind of mean for these fringe asset classes, like a crypto and everything else, right? So I definitely want to talk about what's happening in stocks, because I have a feeling it's given the algorithmically correlated flows between crypto and equities, maybe not to the buy side, but definitely to the sell side. That's probably partially why crypto is red today, right? I mean, we have, like I said, we have equities down pretty decently. And it does look to me like this could, if bulls don't turn it around here into the end of the week, then I think you have a pretty good case here for a lower high. So what that would do and what that would mean for crypto is TBD, right? I think crypto is in a more precarious spot than equities, in the sense that, I could see equities pull back, and it might not be that aggressive. It doesn't have to be that aggressive. But for crypto, I do think any pullback in equities that is beyond, 100 or a few hundred points is going to hit the market really hard, given that we're sitting at 25K support, given the overhangs that we have with Binance, with everything else. But yeah, no, I want to go ahead and get right into the charts, guys. Binance looks like a limp noodle. A lot of adjectives we could use to describe the current Bitcoin price action, but I think untradeable is probably one that I would use at the moment. I think you're better off waiting to transact, at some extremities, right? I'm personally not looking for longs on Bitcoin, but I see the possibility of a squeeze maybe at some point before they roll this over. But, when you're talking about squeezes, how big of a squeeze are we really talking here? Most of the open interest has already been wiped out of the market. The retracement from the grayscale pump was pretty notable, I think, as well. So just a weak looking market. And I'd love to get y'all's opinion, particularly on stocks right now, right? Because we are finally seeing some weakness. It does look like it's bleeding into crypto. Do we think that we have a confirmed lower high here? Or do we think that we need to wait maybe a little bit longer into the week before we can confirm it?
I want to hear from Will first, man. I was hearing some real propaganda from Will, man, before we went live here, and I told him he had to save it for the stream. So, Will, what's up, man?
I don't know. I don't want to be taken as if I'm just coming in and saying random things. Like I do. I'll give some structural standpoints. All right. If you pull up, can you pull up Apple real quick? I think we should start there. Shouldn't start at BTC. So let's go on the monthly. And I know it's a high time frame, guys. I'm going to show you something, okay?
Oh, look at that.
We're going to talk about it. Let's pull up the RSI, pull the stochastic, and let's look at the structure that's happening here. Like it's NGO, right? It's not a good look right at the moment. So if we were to just take a look at this, right, specifically, and we were to go, okay, what do we have here? We have what I would arguably say is rising price, right? You got a higher high, and you got structurally a downtrend on strength, right? What we call this typically in trading is we call it a bear div. Now, granted, these can take longer to play out than a lot of people are willing to, stay in the trade. But you have to identify these things as an obvious trend. Now, this is not me going to the 1 hour or 4 hour or 8 hour and saying, hey guys, we're going to break down, and we're going to break down big from one of the smaller time frame charts. This is me going to the highest time frame that most people will look at and showing you, hey guys, we don't have the same strength in this uptrend as we have as we had previously, right? And this is a very important place to look at price. Now, one thing I would say is if you draw a support line, Tucker, across where you started that trend, right? I'll give you the bull case here, and I'll give you the very bear case. Nope. So up higher. Sorry.
I mean, that's a pretty good
Yeah,
line.
that line's solid, but like just a horizontal across.
Where?
On your very first, where you first started. Yep, right there. If price can remain above that, there's hope. Right? There's hope. But if you break below that trend line right there, you're done. You're literally just done. You're going to come back to that first trend right there at probably 130s, 140s. And if you break that uptrend, you're really done, right? 2024 could prove to be something, catastrophic or amazing. This is like your line in the sand for these markets. Like you really have to pay attention to this price area. I've identified it in 3 different ways specifically, but I would almost call this, and anybody can look at this formation type. It's called an ABC pattern, right? It's where the market breaks out, comes back, retraces the support, and then breaks out again a little higher than the previous move. Or we can call it, in other words, as a lot of people like to know it, a deviation, right? And ABC is simply what we like to call in most markets a deviation. So if you hear ABC, you may be like, I don't believe in ABC. Well, do you believe in deviations? Because those two are one and the same in a sense, right? And ABC is just a better way of identifying deviations. So if this turns into an ABC pattern, you'll probably see that retrace come all the way back down to that previous support. Like, I mean, we're talking like 130s, 120s. Like that's massive for Apple. That's really not a good look. That means that price has remained here since 2020.
Yeah.
And we haven't really made any progress.
Will, we're getting some comments about this. I want to get your thoughts on this. We're getting some comments in the chat about the euro. What are you thinking?
I think Europe's cooked. I don't even have to look at their currency.
Will's bearish on them for reasons other than their economy, man. Will's just they're just cooked in general, man. It's just
we have to understand like where Europe stands to the US. The US is under stress. The US has issues. Yes, there's systemic issues. So if the US even has a trickle of a sniffle, every other country's they're done. But they're because they're all in the same scenario, right? They're not getting as many vitamins as the US is. What are the vitamins? Well, they're being supplied by the other countries, right? So the other countries are giving up the vitamins that they should be taking to support the US, which is supporting them. Our dollar supports the world circulation as far as currencies go. So they have to take major hits in their currencies to be able to support ours, to be able to support theirs, right? It's a symbiotic, parasitical type of relationship.
Well, the doctor, man, spitting science at us.
Parasitical.
Oh my gosh!
But it is what it is.
Europe in this chat.
I'm just throwing it out there.
Will, how are you looking to position, man? You've been very patient, and I commend you for that. But it seems you've not just sipped the bear Kool-Aid, man. You are now applying for jobs to work in the factory to produce bear Kool-Aid. You're using words like parasitical and symbiotic. I mean, you're a true a scholar. And again, guys, for those that don't know, Will is actually a doctor. He graduated from the University of Outlookology at the top of his class. So, Will, how are you looking to position to potentially capture and benefit from a potential pullback over the next few months or even longer? What are you looking to play?
I need validations, right? For my validation for Apple, it's below the support. Obviously, we broke below it. They brought it back above it, right? That's big. You want to see that support violated in a big way, monthly close below. At that point, you could drive this thing all the way down to like 130, 120. For Bitcoin, I want to see invalidation. Again, I'm looking for invalidations. I'm not looking to just say, hey, I'm going to short here, guys, because they could squeeze this thing as many times as they want off support, right? So we have to understand that and be able to identify that. But for Bitcoin, for me, it's 25K. You break 25K, you could come back above, but more than likely you're going to roll back below. And I think that's already occurred with Apple, right? Apple's already violated that low. And now it's going to probably roll back into it and probably close below it, maybe roll back up, retest, and then roll over it. That's what I'm seeing. And that's your lower high is forming, right? You've already got the first lower high on Apple. You've already initiated that. SPY is pretty much just nuked, right? Like it's literally just full on nuke mode.
Look at
and
that
then
thing.
yeah, like
That looks so bad, man. And guess who's short at the top of that? His name is Snorlax.
like I'm not. I've been an advocate all year for bullish sentiment, right? And it's just because price has shown me that. It showed me that we needed to be bullish to be on the right side of the trade. Well, now I'm more of an advocate of almost 2022 vibes. I don't like being in that camp. I don't necessarily subscribe to it at the moment, but I'm not stupid either, right? Like I'm not going to get trapped. It's not going to happen. So if I start to see a rollover in the markets like 2022, that means 2024 is going to be disgusting. And I think we'll be able to see that probably October, somewhere's in there. And I think if we're still continuing to form this same move, September, October, maybe even in November before I'll accept it, if we continue to see this downtrend, I'm just going to take it for what it is, and I'm just going to go with shorts and probably say 2024 is going to be a fucking wash. Excuse my language. Sorry, it's going to be a wash.
Tucker, I'm not a big RSI guy, but it's hard not to notice the I think it's the daily time frame, or I was playing with it earlier. Can you pull up RSI on NVIDIA? There's some serious bear divs going on up here.
Yeah, I'm still bull buying.
Wow. Look at those divs, man. That thing is. We need Michael Guyett on this show, man. NVIDIA is effed. How he's always tweeting that. It's really funny. But guys, if you are enjoying the stream, please consider sparing us a like. We got almost 30 people watching. We got 13 likes on the video so far. Thank you guys so much for being here. You guys are such an amazing and loyal audience and community. So thank you so much for being here. Please consider helping the channel and helping the stream by just liking the video real quick. Our TP1 is always 20 likes to start. Usually by the end of the stream, we hope to get over 30, and you guys never disappoint. So please consider liking the stream and helping us out. But yeah, anyways, look at those bear divs, man, on NVIDIA. It's hard not to notice it. It actually reminds me of the daily time frame bear divs that we saw on Bitcoin during the first top of the bull market, the 64K one. I know that's going way back, but I think it actually daily time frame.
Yeah, it was.
There was like a sequence of like 3 or 4 really, really pronounced ones.
Look at that. Yeah,
just mega bear divs. You might have to pull up the RSI again, because that's like the perfect example of high time frame bear divs. But if you're too early to them, just like if you've been too early to short NVIDIA, you've been getting cooked. But NVIDIA is probably going to do something like Apple did right there, man. Those are nasty. Just nasty.
Can you pull up that image I put in a crypto chat there in Discord, Tucker?
Oh no, Will, what'd you do? Oh wow. Yeah. What do you want me to do with it? Wait.
Just kind of throw it up on the screen. Like this is kind of what I was elaborating on the other day. I mean, that's man, that's an $850 billion crypto market, right? That's not. It looks like nothing, but the reality is like that's some bad pricing in crypto.
We need to put up Tucker's little slogan in the upper right hand corner for this one, Will. That's you ain't seen propaganda yet, brother.
Yeah, Bobby frame me.
Here I identify what your round tops, round bottoms look like, because I think a lot of people have a hard time being able to identify that. So I make it very clear here where your distribution accumulation ranges are. Now your accumulation ranges, they have a high range and they have a low range. And that's basically what I try to show here is like, this is your high range. And that's why I put hope it holds, right? Because that's what a lot of people do in these high ranges. And then you get your low range, which is where your real, your real buy zones are on whatever you're buying into. And really, that could be where we're going to chop into for like a long period of time, right? We could chop into that for the next 6 months and just not even really see any uptrend on a lot of things, right? You'll see bounces, but you have to understand when you get the predatory bounces, and that 27 to 28K call I made, that was a predatory bounce. 100% it was. And that's why I shaved it at 50. I was like, all right, I'm shaving 50% off here. I'm moving my stop up. Boom, they hit my stop. I was like, all right, I'm out. I'm like, no more longs. I was like, once you see those moves.
Is this total, Will? Was that total?
That's total. That is total.
So, guys, I can't help but take notice Bitcoin and crypto have just been sitting on the edge of a cliff. And clearly, I was wrong in thinking that crypto could dump without equities pulling back as well, because I don't think it's a coincidence that we're seeing equities aggressively repricing to the downside today.
Exactly.
And crypto starting to sell. So crypto really is just trading as like, it's like the redheaded stepchild of equities, it's like, it's just too correlated right now. But I don't think you're wrong for being bearish crypto, but it's like, you really should have just been charting equities and then placing bets on crypto this entire time. And I don't think it was a coincidence that last time Bitcoin nuked from 29 to 25, equities were in a sustained like 3 or 4 week pullback as well. So, I mean, the big question here is, do equities continue to pull back here? If they do continue to pull back, where do they go? And then since we're trading crypto here predominantly, now we all have equity positions on. I think I'm short equities. Tommy's short. Tucker, I don't know if you and Will are short yet or you've been talking about it, but
I'm not short yet.
Not yet.
I'm not short yet either. I need to see invalidations first.
But now the question is, right, we should probably be spending more time focusing on charting and doing analysis on the S&P 500 and NASDAQ, given that crypto has been waiting to pull back for basically equities to show some sort of confluence, synchronicity, whatever you want to call it.
I mean, dude, this looks like it's just gonna put in a god candle to the upside, right? Like
it's gonna break out. Like. Yeah, it's gonna break out.
It looks like it just wants to put in a god candle. It also looks like an inverse head and shoulders, which is obviously a head and shoulders, but look at that. I mean, that looks like it just wants to expand. Oh, no.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see how this thing goes, man. I don't like, again, those predatory. I mean, even if you were to draw an angled line across your highs there, Tucker, on BTC from that 31K just straight down, you basically just came up, retapped the high liquidity and rolled back over again. Yeah. I mean, you didn't quite touch it, but you get what I'm saying. Like, even if they were to do another predatory move, that's where I think the top would be, right? I don't think you get much above that.
Man, I think Solana might. I think I lost my bet with Tommy already, man.
Yeah.
I think we might need to make the bet public just to.
I think you should.
Because it's like we'll lose track of it if we don't talk about it, because someone here will remember it and they'll remind us.
Let me pull it up.
All right, we'll explain the bet. All right. Tommy, actually, would you explain the bet? It was your idea. Maybe you explain the bet.
Yeah, basically, Max and I made a bet, or I kind of goaded Max into a bet that I thought I was going to win.
The word you're looking for is swindled.
I did
or
kind of
lured
a little bit, which is why I wanted the payout to be like something fun. And we're gonna do. I'm thinking we're gonna try to do some sort of like trip, I guess, or something. But loser has to pay the other person's plane ticket and a steakhouse dinner. But the bet is Max bet that Solana would never go into single digits again. I said that I think that it would, and I would be wrong if we trade above $30 before that happens.
Isn't there an expiration date on it too? Was it February 1st?
It could be like February of 2024. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So basically, yeah, I'm betting that Solana won't go single digits before, I don't know. We'll just say February. I don't even know. You texted it. It was February 1st, 2024.
Yep.
Is that right?
So you're bullish Solana?
No. I'm just
That's what it sounds like to me.
I just don't think that it's gonna go single digits again. I think there's a 2-week. Can you go to the 2-week chart, Tucker? There's a 2-week order block down there that I think should probably hold if we go back down there.
Nothing holds for Solana. We already discussed this.
That's the bet right there.
I agree with you, Will.
We discussed this.
It's going to deviate that range low 100%.
Look, people can get upset at me all they want about Solana, but like it's going back to single digits.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I don't.
Yeah, well, I don't know.
It's built into the charts. All right, I know you're a Solana bull. All right.
No, I'm not. I don't care. I'm not playing Solana. I just think that it's hard for me to deny the similarities between Solana right now and Ethereum back after the 2018 cycle. And ETH actually did a very similar pattern to what I'm seeing in Sol.
That would be the single digits for Sol. What ETH did.
Here, I'm actually gonna
Wait, where?
Let me do this. Hang on.
You got it.
Solana. So Max is an actual seed investor in Solana. For those of you who don't know, he helped the devs develop the software, and Sam Bankman and him set up the original account for FTX through Solana.
Yeah, sure.
And
hang on. Let me pull this up. Hang on now.
But I wish.
Dude, I wish I got in Sol at 10 cents. That would have been epic.
Oh, think about it. Nobody talks about that, right? 10 cents was your seed investors, and it went to 250. Oh, they need 1,000x. That's why they're just not gonna sell, right? They're just not gonna sell because they need it. Look, when big money steps in, they come in with 5 million, 10 million. Do you know what they need? Maybe a 5x, maybe a 2x.
They don't even need a 5x.
10x is amazing, guys. If they get a 10x, it's amazing. That's why when people are like, why would you sell before 1,000x? You're not thinking. You're not thinking, right? Your exit liquidity at that point.
Can you guys see this okay? Can you guys see this okay?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. Yep. It's just a little small. This looks really similar to me. I'm not gonna lie. And even if we just get a little happy on the fractal over here, man, let's just see how it looks without too much massaging. All right. Hang on now.
Can we change Max's name to Solana Bull? Just one word, Solana Bull.
Absolutely not. Look at that, man. I didn't even have to massage that much. Look at this thing, dude. I didn't even massage this. I just Command C, Command V. All right, but here's what I'm focused on is what happened after we like really marked down. Here's how I'm viewing it. All right, maybe it happens, maybe it doesn't. All right, I'm looking at this, and then I'm looking at our bottom, and then I'm looking at up, down, up, and then we go like that. And now same thing over here. So here's this level, down, I would say up, down, boom, lower low, but not below this one. And then we move up. This is, I mean, I should change these colors, right? But I'll redraw it like this. So I think we could go below this low. So if we're here,
I don't see a bull div there. So
did you check the 15-second chart
from 1980?
1980.
So
yeah.
Basically, I'm looking at this low here. You know, like I would expect us to potentially come back down into this region, but we shouldn't. if it is going to do the ETH fractal from here, we shouldn't go below $10. So
now, what do you do if it forms a lower low?
Then I have to fly Tommy somewhere and buy him a steak dinner. So either I get to hang out with my friend and we'll make it a team thing. So I get to hang out with my team, or I guess I don't get to hang out with my team. Well, or I guess Tommy pays for us to all hang out. So it's a win-win, man. I can't lose. Yeah, I can't lose.
I wanted to share some price I found with and the reason I made the bet is because I saw the price, and I'm gonna bring up the Amazon fractal yet again, because I think it's not that I want to put the Amazon fractal over every single crypto asset, but I do feel like it's somewhat of an applicable, if you're projecting for the future, right? Similar in the sense that they're going to hopefully be, technologically transformative companies. But, this right here is what I found with Amazon, this price action. And I think it looks a whole hell of a lot like price action I've seen before. When I go on Solana and I look at this, it's the same price action.
You know what's funny there, Tommy? It looks like a lower low to me. Look at that. It looks like a lower low. And you know what I had targeted since
$4.
Look, let me tell you guys something. I've been talking about $4 Solana since $200. All right. Like the price is just there. Like if you pull that chart all the way across, Tommy, look at that support range at $4. These people got in at 10 cents.
Yeah.
They're still up so much, man. They're still up so much.
I'm expecting Matic to drop pretty significantly. What does that mean for Sol? This isn't really a demand zone right here. We're kind of accepting below this one right here. Let's see if we were to.
I mean, if you told somebody in 2021 you were going to see, sub single digit Solana, they'd have told you were an idiot.
Yeah, right? They would have.
They would have told you were an idiot. But we saw it. And so if anybody here is in doubt that we can hit $4, you're a top buyer. You are 100% a top buyer. Like, I'm not saying that it's not possible that we don't see $4, but I am saying like you should never discount the possibility of this playing out. That's the thing.
So one piece that, and I could be
saying
wrong.
Just a possibility, right?
Oh, for sure, man. It's definitely a possibility. I think that 10 should hold unless it's complete goblin town, like it's probably like just cooked for years and years. But I find a lot of confluence in Sol BTC. I think that Sol Bitcoin bottomed back when when Sol USD capitulated to $8. And I think we could put in a triple bottom here. So how low Solana goes for me? Oh my gosh, Tommy, what in the propaganda is that?
No, that's propaganda.
I think there's a chance we've already put in our global bottom on Sol Bitcoin. And my thought is, look, whether Sol goes under $10 again for me is really contingent upon how low Bitcoin goes. If I think that Sol BTC has bottomed, if we go back to a triple bottom or 6,000 Satoshis on the right side, so close to triple bottom, the question is, where's Bitcoin at that time? If Bitcoin is at 10,000, then that's going to be a $6 Sol. Okay, so then I'm going to get cooked in my bet, and I'm going to have to fly Tommy out, buy the toilets on a Spirit aircraft. Okay, he's going to get shoved in the back. No bag, no peanuts, no anything.
Oh man,
but 4-hour delay.
Dinner. Wait, Max, why do you think Sol Bitcoin is bottomed?
Part of the bet, real quick. Part of the bet was no budget airlines. Just to put that out there, that was part of the bet. What did you say, Tucker? Why do I think Sol Bitcoin's bottomed?
Yeah.
I think that. Well, for one, I'm drawing a lot of comparisons between like Bitcoin and ETH during the first like true cycle, 2017, 2018, since ETH was around. That's propaganda, Tommy. Oh my gosh.
kind of think it's not going to take that long, but it'll do something. I really think we're going to squeeze, man. I don't know what it looks like.
No, I mean, I don't discount the squeeze at all, Tommy. I really don't. If you look at where we're at, there's just so many people hoping that support holds here that squeeze, seems like it's just in the books. And the reality is, I think a squeeze is going to result. And here's the thing, too, I wanted to point out also, Max, if you look at Sol BTC, there isn't a single higher high in that current range. We're in all lower highs. So like we have to acknowledge that too. And I think that's very important as far as price goes.
Yeah, no, for sure. I just think that the Sol BTC pair bottomed when sentiment on Sol was at, in my opinion, an all-time low, and it will probably stay at that all-time low when FTX went under. I don't think it really gets much worse than that. I think that Sol USD can certainly bleed a lot more. I just don't know if it will bleed a ton against its Bitcoin pair. So again, for me, it's like the bet is that we probably won't see Bitcoin back in the deep teens. That's kind of the bet, because I'm expecting pretty close to a triple bottom on Sol BTC, but I don't expect a lower low on Sol BTC. Is what I'm saying. So
yeah, I got you. I
mean,
I get the context.
If you're like bearish Bitcoin, bullish Bitcoin dominance, you know what I mean? It's just like, I think probably all like what is the incentive for somebody to hold Sol versus Bitcoin?
Tucker,
from
what
now
you said
through
right
the
there.
end of the year?
There's not, but I don't think Sol BTC is going to make a lower low. It could still, pull up Sol BTC again, Tommy, if you would. It could still pull back. Let's take a measured move from where we're at to a triple bottom. That's still a huge drawdown against Bitcoin. I wouldn't hold Sol against Bitcoin right here because I'm expecting a triple bottom. So I don't know.
I expect there'll be outliers, Max, but I think what Tucker just elaborated on, that's a very sound point, right? And that's basically, if we're bearish BTC, we're bullish BTCD. It's like, okay, what are we betting here? We're betting that alts bleed much in a much bigger way than Bitcoin does. And if that's the case, that means Solana gets crushed. Like it's gonna be your strongest alts that get destroyed in this move.
I think Solana's cooked, Max.
It's not going to be your weaker ones. Your weaker ones are already dead. Like a lot of these projects will look literally dead
because there's
nothing to sell.
We had our daily RSI flare up here. We saw the throwback was pretty gnarly. This is the highest daily RSI has kicked up since that. So I imagine the throwback will, or up here was at least. So I imagine the throwback for that will also be pretty gnarly.
And we're not trying to, at least me, I'm not trying to convince you. I'm just trying to.
I don't care, man. Like I'm not playing this move. It's just a friendly bet. And I do think that Sol Bitcoin has bottomed. I think that Sol is going to continue to bleed in US dollar terms. I do. Yeah. I'm not holding Sol here. I have no dog in this fight. I just think that I think the worst is.
Tommy, what is that propaganda?
Look, if I'm
thinking out loud, we got all these highs up here we could take.
I agree.
Let me think out loud for a second. We got 42 people watching. We got 21 likes on this video. Guys, if you are enjoying the stream so far, please consider liking the video. It does wonders for the channel. It's been really, really helpful to have your guys' support, and it makes that robot at YouTube headquarters take a liking to us. So please consider delegating, sparing a like to the Because Bitcoin market check. Right now, we're at 22 likes right now. Final TP while we're live is usually always 30. We got 44 people watching. I feel like we can do it. So yeah, again, if you haven't liked the video yet, please consider liking the video. And one thing I want to mention while we're here, we've been a little bit shy about it, but we actually we kind of just rolled out like a YouTube membership. It's $5 a month. If you're a regular here and you're like, you know what, I really like these guys. I've learned something. They're entertaining. They help me. I can spare $5 a month. It's not a ton of money. It would be cool to see some of you guys sign up for that too. Of course, no pressure. We love that you guys show up regardless. It doesn't really, $5 doesn't move the needle a ton, but it's cool to see that additional support. So if you guys want to check out those memberships, you get a cool little emoji next to your name. You get a few little extra perks, something like that. But yeah, it's $5 a month. We had one dude sign up. one of our OGs, Robert. But yeah, anyways, that's there as well. We've been a little bit shy about it, but if you want to support us even further, oh, Evan, man, Evan, oh, Evan with the super chat, Evan,
Casey, man,
Evan, man,
oh my,
man, Evan, I knew Evan,
man, that warms my heart.
What a good dude.
Thanks, I appreciate it.
What a guy.
I won't bug you anymore about that. But yeah, anyways, that is there if you guys want to support us in that capacity. But yeah, let's get back to the stream now.
Let's look at Ethereum. I feel like we don't talk about it enough.
I agree with you, Will. I think it looks way worse than people think.
What, ETH?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's about to have like a catastrophic nuke, honestly, like the type that could do. I mean this. It could literally do something like this.
Like, Tommy, draw a diagonal trend line, man, from the low in June, just like a normie trend line, you know.
I'm gonna give you guys the real alpha. Tommy, draw the arc on the current move.
Arc. How do you
just
what's the arc?
Draw.
Hang on. I want my trend line first. Will
trend line's broken, bro.
Trend line is broken.
Your name's not Noah, man. Relax with the arc. Okay.
Look,
that was the
you know what? Bro, it's all about the circular patterns, man. You get that half circle, you're gonna get freaking wrecked.
I saw that. That's a good one.
Look at this comment from James, man. Yeah, James, save your $5, man. You should just save it to go buy a soul, man. You don't need this. You don't need to buy the YouTube membership, man. It'll get you a lot further buying a $5 soul.
When this level goes for ETH, it's over. Like
Tommy,
draw the trend line. Draw the trend line, Tommy.
I did draw the trend line.
No, you drew it wrong.
No, not the lows. Ignore those first lows. Just draw it off the set. Yeah, to the.
Hold on.
You see it. Yeah,
there you go.
Is. Yep. Broke. Snapped like a twig.
I just, from if I were trading this from a breakout standpoint, like if you break structure this way, I mean, easily taking these highs, probably filling these inefficiencies. So
I would say this though. If you got back above trend, that would be bullish. I just want that out there for the people that are looking for the bullish catalyst. If you can get back above trend, that'd be bullish. But I think you retest and you fall over, and that's Tommy's whole squeeze situation. Right?
I think we get a small squeeze, man. Like small. I don't think it's a big one.
Hey, real quick, this is a good question. I'd like you to comment on this, Tom. Yeah, there it is, Tucker. Great minds, man. That's my CFO right there. All right.
Oh, yeah.
Tommy, what do you think about that? That's this comment here. Could CRV be the catalyst for the ETH nuke?
I absolutely believe that it is. And I think that people are completely it's honestly kind of baffling how few people are talking about CRV.
The funny part is we discuss this in our Giga Chat chats on daily, and this has been something that's been in discussion for months.
It's like
whereas a lot of people aren't talking about it.
Just like structure break, retest. It's just rejecting. There's no demand. And we're getting so close to that OTC price, man. Oh, yeah. I mean, I will say, I think when you're talking about like systemic risk for ETH, curve is the #1 thing. I think another thing that kind of came up that was a little surprising this week was the fact that MetaMask, you can now like KYC money out into a bank, which I think is ultimately bearish for ETH because if shit hits the fan, you're going to be getting your money out into the bank, not, taking it into ETH, which is going to have a really volatile price point at that point. I would, in this hypothetical.
Mm-hmm.
But I think
that's really bearish.
On the topic of like curve and ETH, like we were talking about this yesterday, this whole structure on ETH looks a lot like Bitcoin, back up here. It's functionally similar with the squeezes, yada, yada, yada. Probably ends the same way as far as, aggressive downtrend we've been in. If this is redistribution for ETH, it's essentially been in a redistribution phase for, almost an entire, or literally over a year. So that's going to be a pretty big markdown or markup regardless of where we go. But, on the topic of curve, yeah, like I think people don't, curve as a token is irrelevant, like the token price, but I don't know that people and especially not me. Like, I'm not going to speculate like I know. I have no idea where the hidden leverage in DeFi is. I would imagine you unlock a lot of it with the curve nuke, though. And, you know, I don't know if I would short curve because maybe they try to defend it. But if they are going to defend it, you know what they're probably going to sell? It's going to be Ethereum.
Well, here's the thing too, Tommy, and I think this is something that hasn't been discussed by anybody. What would a curve nuke do to Lido? Right?
Oh God.
Yeah, Lido
and
would
then
get
Would be over.
would that catalyst Lido into a systemic situation that could, you know, cause a catalyst for
All
Ethereum
that,
to really
all
get
that
destroyed?
ST ETH, all that like liquid staked ETH, whatever is probably going to go to zero if that happens.
There's some
honestly.
equal lows right below there, Tommy, that I had drawn out a long time ago. Right below your, right there, man. A sweep of that.
It's a good zone to bid. But, you know, I look
mean,
at this
dude, if
momentum,
staked ETH goes
you know,
to
we
zero,
could
that
pull
would be
back
horrendous.
into here.
Say that again, Tommy.
I look at this
Yeah, go
daily
ahead.
RSI, man. Like, why can't we throw back into here given the momentum and where we are contextually? Like
I
with
think we
the
can.
RSI, you know, pump. We've never really had, other than here, we've never really had a huge period of downside momentum. So I just kind of wonder. And this is like, LDO is the VC coin. Let me be.
Yep.
Yeah, this is a failed long setup, but
VC's wrecked at that point.
yeah, I mean, this is like the VC health indicator if you're going to use one. And so I probably should keep this on my watch list. I'm going to be honest.
Are you bullish on, are any of you guys bullish on LDO for next cycle?
No.
Not really. I mean, I don't know why.
I don't even know why people even look at ETH, to be honest with you. Like,
Well, no, I
what's
could
the
I could
upside?
see. I mean, you could still, like, if ETH comes back into like $500, you can easily hit like a probably 10, maybe
Yeah.
20x if it goes to 10K, right? But like, yeah, there's better beta out there. I don't know why you would liquid stake. It's like, if you really believe in it, you should just stake it. And if that worries you, you should just stay liquid. Like, you know what I mean? It's like,
Yeah.
For me, it's not worth it to liquid stake, like, especially with, like, people think there's not tail risk to it. There absolutely is. So
Yes, there is.
If
100%
everybody
there is.
were to try and get out, one, the queue would be impossibly long, and second, I'm pretty sure the staking, like the staked ETH, would already take a huge discount. So if you're not planning to stake for multiple years, I don't really know that it makes sense.
Are you really expecting a $23 SOL there, Tommy?
No, I see this liquidity up here that we could take, and I see, you know, we were looking at sold Bitcoin earlier.
Here's my thing. I think that
What
you
if we
could
get a
be right
pop?
about oh my gosh. I think you could be right about a little squeeze. But like I mentioned earlier in the show, I think it's entirely contingent upon equities turning around here and showing strength. Clearly, crypto has been just tethered, no pun intended, to equities. The last dump lined up with equities dumping. Equities are rolling over today. Crypto's sliding. I think if equities continue to show weakness throughout the rest of the week, you're not going to get your squeeze, even if the setup is there for it.
What if, okay, here's a counterpoint. What if equities chop and go up, and up is relative, right? Like, it could just be barely going up for the rest of the week.
So we see like a 0.25%. We see like a 0.25% recovery tomorrow or something like that on equities. Yeah, I think you could, that would probably give you your squeeze, but I don't think you would see equities up 25 basis points and altcoins up 3 or 4% or something like that.
I think it depends on the altcoin. But
yeah, I mean, I would agree.
I can't really see them popping too much further, because we were talking about this, Max. So like, there's just not that much open interest left to squeeze at this point. You know, I mean,
there's a reason they were pump and dumping Flamingo yesterday, man.
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
that's
They're
all they
trying
can
to
do.
Juice it every ounce of money out of this market.
Yeah,
this right here was literally 25% of the total Matic OI, like total 15% move. So yeah, I mean, I don't know. I really don't think there's too much left to squeeze on a lot of these altcoins, but it is a little bit tricky because they are doing the stuff like you were saying with Flamingo coin, which is down 20% today, ironically. What the hell? I mean, this is just like
Ugh.
Why would you ever trade that, man?
Why don't you just stack some asks above 10 cents? So every time they do it, you just get filled. It looks like it's pretty
I mean,
consistent.
this is crazy. This is definitely just like taking out residual shorts that were used to hedge. That's so predatory. Saw this one was popping off too. Perp. Yeah, I'm not buying that. I remember Crypto McKenna shilled that, and I looked at the chart to buy it, and within like 30 seconds, I saw like a minus 5% 1 minute candle come in.
Mm-hmm.
Good times. Back when people would just use you so explicitly for exit liquidity on big alts, you know. Now we do it on chain, I guess.
Yeah, and dude, what was that other one that was going crazy recently? Cyber or something like that?
The cyber chart.
Yeah, I don't even know what that was. I just saw the funding on it was like minus 4,000% APY at one point.
Somebody belongs
Wow.
to prison. All I'm
Look
gonna
at
say about cyber.
Wow, look at that.
I mean, I'm sure a bunch of people shorted here and then shorted here, and then it blew off another like 30% from here and another 50, 60% from here. So Jesus. And then it nuked. So good going. Thanks for playing.
Now it's over.
He said, "Good going. Thanks for playing."
But I pulled up this chart and I was like, the listing wick is up here. They pushed it almost all the way back up to the listing wick in 3 or 4 days. That's so scammy. I mean, I'm not going to say you guys can't make money off of this, right? I'm a profit maximalist at the end of the day, but I think it is telling that you have Binance and CZ just so willy-nilly pump and dumping these illiquid perps while they're being investigated by the DOJ and the SEC. Like, that to me feels like late stage value extraction at this point.
I can tell you what that is, Tommy. It's literally because they own the black box. Unless their platform can get seized, there's no way the government can see inside that black box. Zero. Yeah. That's what a lot of people don't get. They can see what comes in, but they can't see what comes out. They can't. I mean, you can kind of track it, but it's very hard to see what's liquid and what's illiquid when you're looking at CEXs. They're just, the front face is so it guards all the hidden demand, right? And all the hidden liquidity. And a lot of people don't even recognize that.
Dude, SPY looks so bad. Oh my gosh.
That's what I said it this morning. I was like, dude, this shit's it's gonna roll over. The whole fucking thing.
That's so
you can see it in Apple,
man.
you can see it in everything. Like, everything's showing the same signs. And it's not me trying to get on board with bearishness. It's so freaking obvious, man. And this is what I think a lot of people just tend to want to ignore. They want to ignore the most obvious moves. Believe me, I was sipping the fucking bull Kool-Aid at the highs, 100%. But like, where we're at right now, like, it's not there. And I don't mean at the highs of the market at 69K. I mean, like, when we were pushing up there, I was like, okay, we're gonna get another leg. Expectations were that, and then we got that scam move. And once you see that, man, you know when it's cooked. You just know as a trader.
I kind of think this is coming back.
I mean, dude.
And I'm going to play on the RSI again. We have not had the throwback to the downside yet.
But you guys get what I'm saying with that, right? As far as like, just it's just too obvious when you see the trend.
It is.
It's one of those things you just don't fade it.
So dude, look at. Hang on, let me take this 1 sec. Look at total 1, 2, and 3, man. They are all just cliff dwelling right now.
I agree.
Like,
well,
look at that.
The thing is,
bad.
So Evan said it looks obvious now. And yes, I would say so. But here's the thing: everybody's still arguing long. They are. Like, I don't think as many people are bared up as people think there are. Like, you do have the regulars who have been screaming bear since January. I get that. Like, those people are fades. But like, outside of that, like, if you have people who have been advocates for long positions, you know, who have tilted their positions to the upside when things were, you know, maybe bear, like me, for instance. I'll give you an example. January, I was pretty bared up, man. But then I saw the momentum and I played the momentum. But like, after that, I was bold. I was like, dude, the momentum's there. You cannot deny momentum. So I played the upside. And now I'm getting to that point where I'm just like, it looks like we're losing the momentum, right? And again, this is your 3 drive high into your potential retrace. That could be a 3 drive low or just a simple retrace. We'll see at the end of the day. Do they recapture all the liquidity? Do they recapture some of it? And you tend to at least recapture 50% of it. So if we're looking at 50%, we got more downside to go.
Massage that baby, Tommy. Yeah, there she is.
Something like that.
Mm-hmm.
It's a pretty nasty picture though for crypto.
Yeah, it does.
I actually think we can go lower than this, but
what is that total? Yeah. 730 bill is the low.
Like if we really get sliding, I'd look at here first and then there. But we haven't, you have to break these lows before you start talking about that. DeFi ETH. God.
4-hour close, 10 minutes, boys.
This is going to 0. Makes me sad, but it is what it is.
What's going to 0?
DeFi.
I'll tell you this, Tommy. Since you brought up the CRV thing, man, I'm really curious on Lido. I'm going to be watching that because I think that'll be a really good position to take.
Good what?
How did I draw this?
Lido. I think if market's going to go bear, Lido's going to get destroyed.
The spike.
Here's the
CRV.
Here's the thing about DeFi dying, though, Tommy. I think it's a beautiful thing, man. I love DeFi, and I know that there will be a whole cast of new DeFi protocols that emerge after the existing ones die, and then we can just rinse and repeat everything from last cycle. We'll have DeFi
own forks.
Summer 2024.
Already seeing it, yeah.
Summer 2024 will be DeFi summer, but it's going to be nothing you've heard of before. Stuff that's being worked on right now.
This isn't structure
Well,
break.
there's some things that are out right now that'll be running.
Oh yeah, you the shillor.
I'm not gonna shill. I'm not gonna shill.
God, that was so I will say I drew this out like in 2022 and it's still looking okay.
Bruh.
But I have no intention.
Oh yeah. Oh, that's what I'm talking about, Tommy. The most resilient altcoin there is.
Yeah, okay.
I drew this out a long time ago.
Relative strength.
Perfectly, actually.
Yeah, relative strength.
I think it's just already beat down to hell, man.
Nothing like some good.
Hey, this kind of looks
strength.
like Sol, though. Maybe this actually. Hold on.
Lows are in, brother. Lows are in.
Come on. This actually looks a lot like Sol.
Don't do it, Tommy.
Do it. Do it.
Don't do it, Tommy.
Do it. Tommy's gonna buy me a flight, man, and a 24-ounce bone-in ribeye cooked medium rare with a side of potatoes, broccoli,
it's still going.
asparagus, chocolate cake.
You're gonna buy me a dry aged ribeye, man.
Dry aged.
Oh man, 85-day aged bone-in ribeye, seared to perfection.
Most people probably don't even know what that is, but
Got the triple drive. I don't know.
What
Either
is
way,
that now a $2 Sol.
It's coming home.
It's coming home.
It does not look good.
I want to be clear too. Like, I'm not advocating for, total destruction, but like I'm advocating. Total
hang on now, Will.
I trade the chart.
I said I'm not advocating, but I am advocating.
So, right? Will, we've been talking about this pattern on this show for a long time, where equities go back. Basically, they go and make a new high, and then they completely roll over and go on to make a new low. We didn't quite get to the all-time high. The question is now that time where we start to roll over and work our way down to a new low? Do you still have that chart, Will? The megaphone pattern that we see in equities all the time?
Which one?
you know, like you go back on like the weekly or monthly, and it's like the broadening wedge pattern where you go, you know, you nuke and then you recover, make a new all-time high, and then go on and make a new low.
Yeah. And that's you're talking about with SPY, right?
Yeah. That looks like
Yeah.
the floor is going to give out right there.
Yeah, I'm having issues with my trading view.
Fucking near, man. This is going to zero, and I will be happy when it does.
I was short near a while ago. Where was I short from? I don't even remember.
Long-term log chart. Wow. I'm really going to throw it back here. Has respected this channel so well. Yeah, probably comes back down to range lows. Fills the FEG. Link.
4-hour close, boys. 5 minutes.
Trade.
Dude, with equities looking the way that they are, I don't even know like what there is to really talk about. Like they completely look like they just put in a complacency shoulder and they're about to go on and make a new local low for this current trend. It's like, what do we really expect with crypto? I don't think that crypto can do anything with the baggage of equity weakness.
I mean, you've got that. You've got equity weakness. You've got no spot buying. You've got no open interest to squeeze. You've got massive negative headline risk.
I don't even think the down move has started yet, man. I really don't. Like, this is like inning one.
You got Binance, you got Curve, like
dude. I mean, if equities, if we see QQQ down at 340, you're talking about a 19K Bitcoin. I'm serious on a pullback that, I mean, it's deep locally, right? But it's still way off of the low of the year, you know, or our yearly open.
Oh my God, there's no way. I love when I go back and I find like old drawings on charts that played out perfectly.
Ooh, that's a good question. Lewis, y'all buying Pepe if it crashes?
I think
I will.
I thought that Bripto Kenneth had a great take on it today. He's one of my buddies, and he's a really bright on-chain guy. He was saying that he thinks ticker Bitcoin has a better shot of going to $1 billion than Pepe does of going back near all-time highs. I think I agree with it.
Why?
I just think the Pepe narrative is kind of cooked, man, because you buy a meme coin because you believe that it's going to return like infinite number of multiples, right? Pepe might have gotten, I mean, at the very least, I think it's going to need a much longer cycle to play out. Like, we could come back all the way down here.
I would like to comment on this, Tommy.
Okay.
This is precisely the mindset that you and me, we talked about this. We said, one, Pauly probably needs to be out of Pepe. All right.
Yes, we did say that.
Pauly capitulated. He is against Pepe now. Okay. So with his anger and his reach, and he's got a lot of reach, he could fuel a hated rally. Okay. Second, Pepe was sort of seen for a while here up until recently as almost a guaranteed like top 5 of next cycle type of meme coin, the one that was going to compete with Doge and SHIB. Most people are now capitulating on that narrative. I think you kind of have the perfect storm for people to forget about it completely and then for it to surprise people. So I think that it's just going to trade like SHIB. We're going to be in Goblin Town for a while. And I think that probably within the next 12 months, it starts to creep back up when everybody forgot about it and people talk trash about it. And, you know, everyone's like, oh, it got hacked, or, oh, you know, the multi-seg got drained or whatever. I don't care about any of that stuff, man. It pumped. It'll pump again. It's definitely, I don't think it's dead at all. And I love that people are talking trash about it and people are capitulating from a sentiment perspective. It's exactly what you need to see, because those people will shine a much, much different light on it when it starts to move up again. They don't care. Nobody cares about any of that stuff as long as price is talking with the direction that they need it to. So it's going to be something that I hold next cycle, whether it pumps to all-time high or not, I don't care. but it's going to be part of my meme portfolio. I will buy Harry Potter Obama Sonic 10 Inu when I start to get into, long-term spot bags, but I also will buy Pepe, regardless of the sentiment around it. I think the negative sentiment around it is precisely what you need. I think it's good.
I think it's going to get wrecked in the short term, though.
Yes,
but
I would agree.
It could be a buy again.
I would agree.
Tommy, that is propaganda, my lord.
I have to run, guys.
See you, Will.
But
See you,
I
Will.
couldn't get my trading view to work. I don't know what's going on with it. It's been sitting here spinning all morning. I don't know if you guys are having the same issue, but at least the app one, I don't know what's going on with it. All right. Yeah, we'll chat later. I'll see you guys.
See you, Will.
See you, bro.
I think I'm doing this retracement right. I might not be. Might be like that. Either way, I think it's wrecked. I don't know.
Dude, just looking at stocks right now, man, like it's just so ugly.
I'm looking at these high time frame RSIs, man. And I know RSI is a meme, but it's like it does look like you're about to see acceleration to the downside on a lot of these pairs.
Here's the levels I'm looking at on the NASDAQ, man. Like going back right here, I think that at a minimum, you're going to tag this August 2022 high, which was such a significant level for us. And from here on the NASDAQ, I mean, we haven't even really started to roll over, man. Like that's 10, 11% down. I think that could happen by end of October, truthfully. I think it's going to be a really, really sharp and aggressive downtrend. I think you're probably going to see something like this. I would say like this, man, truthfully. Like this is kind of what I'm expecting. Just everybody's so upset, man. We're going to come back and retest these. The green lines are 200 EMA and SMA. And you can see like they just, for me, it kind of helps identify like, the high time frame trends. You can see rejection, flip, moving up. I think we'll come back and retest them. And a lot of confluence here with these horizontals. I don't even think your downtrend has really started yet, guys, truthfully. And I'm telling you right now, if this happens and we come back even to the August 2022 high, and I think we'll go lower, by the way. I think we'll come back down into this demand. Like if you draw a volume profile, we've done this before, by the way. Here, actually, let me go to QQQ. It'll be better here.
Man.
If you draw a volume profile.
Good.
Hold up, let me cook.
Let them cook.
Let me cook. All right, we'll get rid of the value areas. I think we're going to get a POC, point of control retest here from this demand level because all of this was accumulation. Like everything under this box was accumulation during the bear market of 2022. And a majority of your volume for that demand. Why'd you guys both go off camera at the same time? And most of your demand came in right here. I think it's possible you come back to 315. It's not going to happen quick, right? It could take a while, but I do think it's possible. I definitely think it's possible. Here, you've got your all-time high VWAP right here as well. Let me remove these. All-time high VWAP right down here. Tons of confluence. There's just a lot to look at right there. A lot of confluence. And that's down at 330, man. So if we get a really nasty correction, something like this, I don't think that's impossible. I really don't. I think we could be in for some pain here. Seasonality ain't good. All right, well, I guess I'm on stream alone here. I don't know where the boys went.
I'm here. Sorry, Max.
Oh, you're good. You guys just both went off camera at the same time. I looked over. It was a ghost town.
Just got back.
But yeah, this ain't good, man. This is not good. It'll be very interesting to see where we it's going to be really dependent on where we are on like September 20th, I think. If we've really nuked through September, then I think October is just set up to be terrible, man. Just terrible.
I'm kind of unsure how it's going to go, honestly, Max, because I think, I'm with you on the camp that I think September and October are probably going to be very downside heavy. I'm unsure if we have downside just throughout both months, or if we kind of have, maybe like a choppy downtrend for 1 month and then acceleration in the other. I'm unsure. And I mean, a lot of it has to do with equities, right? Like,
yeah,
I think if crypto goes, it'll probably be a pretty quick slide. But what does that mean for equities? Are they just going to grind, or are they going to actually, are we going to get a real spike on the VIX?
Yeah, that's a really good point. Will the vol sellers finally just get blown out after 2 years of abuse? I mean, not 2 years, right? More like a year, but yeah, for me, it feels like the VIX has really lost a lot of its signal. There's just not a ton of signal in the VIX anymore, which is a shame.
Well, the thing about volatility, and I've seen Shem Carson explain it, because I always listen whenever he gives like commentary. I always listen to it because I mean nobody understands. I don't even understand half the stuff that he says, and I still feel like I learn a ton when I listen to him. But
who is this guy?
Shem Carson. He's like a volatility quant. He runs like a fund.
Okay.
I'll shoot you his Twitter when it's over. But he always has really great commentary on volatility. And one of the things that he has mentioned is that, progressively over time, like the short volatility trade is like volatility is going to continue to go lower forever, essentially. And that's just, there are a myriad of reasons for that. But really the biggest reason in like local price action that volatility gets suppressed is related to liquidity. Funds have like that extra cash, that extra liquidity that they are able to not only, right, like there aren't huge shifts in price, so volatility is able to remain muted, but like they're able to short it as well. And, volatility sellers, when there's more supply than demand, volatility is going to go lower. And so it's a big, like volatility selling specifically is big as it relates to liquidity. It's almost like the same trade. So if we have something that impacts liquidity, then there's an opportunity for the VIX to spike. And I keep talking about what's happening in China because I feel like it's like curve. People are kind of just glancing over it because when there hasn't been an immediate reaction in the market this year, I think people just assume that it's going to happen way down the road.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. I think it'll catch everybody by surprise. It really will. I still contend that there's a chance that we see like that VIX spike over 30, over 35 at some point. Because we
pull up the VIX, yeah.
Yeah, let's see.
It just looks brutal. I mean, you guys are right. There's much less signal in this than there used to be, I think.
It's just been abused. It's just being abused. But we haven't had that real vol blowout, which typically marks like a global bottom in equities. Can you pull up SPY and put it like right below the VIX there, Tucker?
Mm-hmm.
You might have to put it in log mode or something. You could put SPX, perfect. Might have to put it in log. I'm not sure. Yeah, it helps a little bit, but typically like our global bottom in equities are marked by a VIX spike above, I believe, 35. We didn't have that in 2022. We definitely had some spikes for sure, but we didn't have like the real global bottom capitulation that we've seen before. And I think it's a matter of time before we do get a blowout. And where does that take equities? Well, I think it depends on where they're at that time. But yeah, I would definitely be expecting. I would be expecting that blowout. I don't know if it goes to 85, right? Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. But
if we go to 85, we're in big trouble, Max.
That's where we went. That's where we went in 08, and that's where we went in COVID. I don't know about. I mean,
it's over 40, right? Like I would expect something more like that, something like over 35 to 40, 45, somewhere in that region.
Look at the one we got at the bottom locally. It was like it was 34. Like that ain't it. That ain't it for me.
We're gonna get a blowout. you know, we're going to get it. But also, I mean, smart guys out there like Michael Guy, I think we're like on the verge of a credit event. If we do get some sort of credit event, you will see the VIX spike over 60. I don't know what it is. You know, I'm not the guy to say what it is. I don't know. But I mean, there's some smart people out there that think that like the system is cracking. Like the system as we know it is about to completely crack. Like they're flexing it and it's about to snap.
Well, you do have liquidity finally starting to be affected from things, right? Like I feel like that's what it all comes down to, and more specifically as it relates to China. And then I had something else I was going to bring up. I actually forgot what it was though.
Yeah, there it is.
Credit event, VIX spike, Michael Guyed, credit event, blowout.
The dollar, man. The dollar is moving up, which is going to put like that puts a huge amount of stress on debt.
By the way, I sniped the bottom on the dollar when we were on stream. I think we go back and we put in a huge complacency shoulder. Just like equities just put in a complacency shoulder, this one's probably, it could go up to 109, I even think. Like we could retest that supply at the very tippy top. Yeah, right up there. That underside retest. Yep. It's a monthly inefficiency. It's also nice overhead supply. I think we could move right up there, man.
Yeah. I don't see why not. Yeah, that would definitely put some pressure on risk. I mean, liquidity continues to dwindle.
Is this the jaws closing, Tucker? You know how Ben always says the jaws will close, man.
Yeah, I mean, when did they open? Like right here in April? Been diverging since April. I mean, we saw what happened in 2018. It was the same thing, right? Yeah, 2018. It eventually will catch up. Hang on. There we go. It eventually will catch up. So, yeah, it started diverging like here, and it didn't really have an effect until here, right?
How long did that take?
Until it nuked.
What was the time?
I think we did this one time on here, but
180 days.
So half a year, basically. So
let's check that. We got to be close, man. We got to be really close.
Yeah, we do have to be close. Liquidity's so much higher now. I have to.
This has to be close, man. It's got to be.
Yeah. So when it started going, we'll just call it there, April. Yeah, we do have to be close. No, that's
wrong one. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. 181, whatever. Close enough. October 11th. It's over.
Question for you. What if you marked the downtrend in global liquidity from the peak, the middle peak there, like the actual high, not when the sustained downtrend began, from when it peaked?
Right there?
No, to the left further.
You mean like
that one? Here? Yeah, because that was the high, right?
Yeah.
We've been downtrending since there. I don't know. Just saying. Because that was technically the peak of that like dead cat bounce. And even though we technically upticked in May, it looks like, or April.
Yeah, but we still had a little correlation. Like this is when the correlation completely broke. You know what I mean?
Okay. Yeah.
I mean, you could do it either way.
I'm just trying to fit my bias, man. That's all.
Yeah, no, I know. I understand. Well, either way, it's like if it says October 11th, it's like, well, we're in September. Seasonality is terrible. Like you can expect it in September probably. So, yeah.
All right, guys, we've been going for about an hour 15. I say we call it here so we give ourselves something to talk about tomorrow. We got 36 likes, guys. If there's 4 people out there, we got 33 people still watching. If there's 4 of you who have enjoyed the content but haven't liked the video yet, that would be absolutely amazing if you guys could spare a like. Really helps us out. Really helps the channel, and thanks so much for being here. See if we can get to 40 likes on the stream. That would be absolutely epic. Tommy, you want to close us out, brother?
For sure, guys. Yeah, no, great show. We've had 2 really great shows this week on a shorter week. We hope you all are enjoying them. they've run a little bit longer, but I feel like we've covered a lot of content, really set the stage for September and October. I think that as I kind of mentioned at the beginning of the show, Bitcoin and crypto are in a much more precarious position than equities. I can see sideways for longer for equities, but I think we are closer. We're close or closer to a crescendo in crypto than we are in equities. I have to think. I have to assume that until equities prove me otherwise, right? Either way, I think there's going to be a ton of opportunity specifically in the crypto market for September and October, given the bearish slant that a lot of these altcoin price action right now tend to have. But we'll see, right? I'm sure we'll talk about it more in depth tomorrow as well. Looking forward to seeing how equities kind of close the day and how they, trade into the end of the week. But we appreciate you guys for being here. If you really enjoyed the content, we do have access to some of our premium content. The links, the description below, as well as the link tree of our Twitter bio. But yeah, guys, have a fantastic rest of your Wednesday. We will be back tomorrow, like I said. Thanks again.
Thanks, guys. See ya.
Thanks, guys.